RPMS tool for Teacher 1 to 3 Proficient teachers in the time of COVID-19 for school year 2021 to 2022. Position and competency profile, job summary, the qualification standards, duties and responsibilities. For KRA1, Content Knowledge and Pedagogy, Objective 1, Applied Knowledge of Content within a cross-curriculum teaching areas. Ang MOV dito ay ang Classroom Observation Tool, the Rating Sheet, or Inter-Observer Agreement Form. An observation of synchronous teaching, limited face-to-face teaching, online teaching, or two-way radio instruction. If option 1 is not possible, an observation of a recorded video lesson or audio lesson that is SLM-based or MELC-aligned. If options 1 and 2 are not possible, an observation of a demonstration teaching via LAC. Objective 2. Use research-based knowledge and principles of teaching and learning to enhance professional practice. MOVs, one lesson plan with annotations identifying the research-based knowledge or principles of teaching and learning. Use a basis for planning, designing the lesson. For the research-based knowledge, should be information, knowledge, or data acquired through systematic investigation and logical study. That is the PPST 2017. Principles of teaching and learning, teacher's view, understanding, and conceptualization of teaching and learning. Para sa outstanding, in all the components of the instruction in the lesson plan to improve student learning. VS, two components of the instruction in the lesson plan to improve student learning. For satisfactory, one component only. Unsatisfactory is identified but was poorly used as basis, and 1, no acceptable evidence was shown. Objective 3. Displayed proficient use of mother tongue, Filipino, and English to facilitate teaching and learning. MOV, Classroom Observation Tool, Rating Sheet, or Inter-Observer Agreement Form from an observation of synchronous teaching. If option 1 is not possible, an observation of a recorded video lesson or audio lesson that is SLM-based or MELC-aligned. If options 1 and 2 are not possible, an observation of a demonstration teaching via LAC. Objective 4. Used effective verbal and nonverbal classroom communication strategies to support learner understanding, participation, engagement, and achievement. For MOVs, your COT. Outstanding, demonstrated level 7 in Objective 4 as shown in COT rating sheets. VS, level 6 in Objective 4 as shown in COT. S, level 5, unsatisfactory, level 4, and poor, level 3, in Objective 4 as shown in COT, or no acceptable evidence was shown. KRA2, Learning Environment, Objective 5, establish, safe, and secure learning environments to enhance learning through the consistent implementation of policies, guidelines, and procedures. So, ano yung mga MOVs dito? Your COT, an observation of synchronous teaching, limited face-to-face teaching, online teaching, or two-way radio instruction. If option 1 is not possible, an observation of a recorded video lesson or audio lesson, and it can be also through demonstration teaching via LAC. Objective 6. Maintain learning environments that promote fairness, respect, and care to encourage learning. Still, ang MOVs nito ay ang inyong classroom observation tool. Objective 7. Maintain learning environments that nurture and inspire learners to participate, cooperate, and collaborate in continued learning. So, meron ditong set A and set B means of verification. For set A, any supplementary material in print, digital format made by the ratee and used in the delivery of the lesson that highlights maintaining learning environments that nurture, inspire learners to participate, cooperate, and collaborate in continued learning. So, activity sheets, one lesson from self-learning module, lesson plan, video lesson, audio lesson, other learning materials in print, digital form, with client-learner feedback on how the material encouraged the learners to participate, cooperate, and collaborate. For set B, COT rating sheet or inter-observer agreement form from an observation of synchronous teaching. If option 1 is not possible, an observation of a recorded video lesson or audio lesson, and then demonstration teaching via lab. Elements of collaborative learning, positive interdependence, individually, accountability, and shared authority in assessing and facilitating one's learning. The supplementary material is product of a group work, collaborative effort of 2 or more teachers. Ratee should specify and provide annotations of one's contribution to a material. For modular approach, demonstration teaching via LAC must reflect the teaching-learning process in the said modality. The MOV or the COT rating sheet or inter-observer agreement form shall be also complemented with any annotated document indicating the occurrence of follow-through monitoring and others. For Objective 8, apply the range of successful strategies that maintain learning environments that motivate learners to work productively by assuming responsibility for their own learning. Still, we have set A and set B. Any supplementary material in print, digital format made by the ratee and used in the lesson delivery that highlights a range of strategies that maintain learning environments that motivate learners to work productively by assuming responsibility for their own learning. Activity sheets, one lesson from self-learning module, lesson plan, video lesson, audio lesson, other learning material in print, digital format. For set B, COT rating sheet or inter-observer agreement form, an observation of synchronous teaching for limited face-to-face, and then it can be also recorded video lesson, and if options 1 and 2 are not possible, a demonstration teaching via LAC. Let's move sa KRA3, Diversity of Learners, Curriculum and Planning, and Assessment and Reporting. For Objective 9, designed, adapted, and implemented teaching strategies that are responsive to learners with disabilities, giftedness, and talents. For Set A, Classroom Observation Tool, Rating Sheet, or Inter-Observer Agreement Form from an observation, and then it can be LAC session, audio lesson, or recorded video lesson. For Set B, Teacher Reflection Form or the TRF on designing, adapting, on implementing teaching strategies that are responsive to learners with disabilities, giftedness, and talents, and a certification from the school head that the ratee's classes have no identified learners with disabilities, giftedness, or talents. Learners with disability, giftedness, and talents is operationally defined as person who are gifted or talented, and those who have physical, mental, social, or sensory impairment. Objective 11. Adapted and implemented learning programs that ensure relevance and responsiveness to the needs of all learners. MOVs. Proof of evaluation and in the implementation of the adapted contextualized learning program. Progress report on the implementation of the adapted contextualized learning program. Accomplishment or completion technical report on the implementation of an adapted contextualized learning program. An action plan or activity proposal, activity matrix that shows an adapted contextualized learning programs. So these learning programs are organized and sequenced set of strategies, activities, and tasks that affect learning under PPST 2017 that may include but not limited to literacy program, numeracy program. Objective 12. Utilize assessment data to inform the modification or teaching and learning practices and programs. Ang MOVs dito, a list of identified least most mastered skills based on the frequency of errors, correct responses with any of the following supporting MOV. 1. Accomplishment report for remedial or enhancement activities. 2. Intervention material used for remediation, reinforcement, and enhancement. And 3. Lesson plan, activity log for remediation, enhancement utilizing of assessment data to modify teaching and learning practice or programs. KRA 4. Community linkages and professional engagement and personal growth and professional development. Objective 13. Maintain learning environments that are responsive to community context. So ano ba ang mga MOVs dito? Accomplishment report of a program, project, activity that maintains a learning environment. Program, project, activity, plan, or maintaining a learning environment. Minutes of a consultative meeting, community stakeholders meeting about a program, project, activity that maintains a learning environment with proof of attendance. And 4. Communication letter about a program, project, activity that maintains a learning environment. Objective 14. Reviewed regularly personal teaching practice using existing laws and regulations that apply to the teaching profession, the responsibilities specified in the Code of Ethics for Professional Teachers. So ano-ano yung mga MOVs dito? Annotated video or audio recording of one's teaching that shows impact of regularly reviewing one's teaching practices. Annotated teaching material that shows impact of regularly reviewing one's teaching practices through lesson plan, assessment, materials, and others. Personal reflection notes as outputs from the participation in review of personal teaching practices in 4 quarters. Proof of attendance with date in LAC or coaching and mentoring sessions for reviewing of personal teaching practices. Objective 15. Complied with and implemented school policies and procedures consistently to foster harmonious relationships with learners, parents, and other stakeholders. Ang MOVs, proof of participation or involvement in a community partnership at the national, regional, division, school level for the implementation of DepEd school policies, procedures such as the BELCP, or the reassignment order certificate as committee member narrative report, proof of other stakeholders' meetings with minutes of online or face-to-face meeting, any form of communication to stakeholders, screenshots or chat, text, message communication by name or any identifier removed. Objective 16. Apply the personal philosophy of teaching that is learner-centered. MOV, one lesson plan or a lesson script or TV or radio-based instruction with annotations, identifying the application of personal philosophy of teaching that is learner-centered. Please provide annotations of one's contribution to the video lesson. Objective 17. Adapted practices that uphold the dignity of teaching as a profession by exhibiting qualities such as caring attitude, respect, and integrity. MOVs, documented feedback from superiors, colleagues, or other stakeholders directly reflecting the latest good practices that uphold the dignity of teaching as a profession. Annotated evidence of practice indirectly linking to the upholding of the dignity of teaching as a profession by exhibiting qualities such as caring attitude, respect, and integrity. Remarks from superiors, colleagues, or master teacher, or even your school head about one's qualities. Performance monitoring and coaching form or mid-year review form. Recognition from school community about one's qualities. Objective 18. Set professional development goals based on the PPST for teachers. Updated Ipcrf DP or the development plan from Phase 2, mid-year review form or MRF, Ipcrf DP, certification from the ICT coordinator, school head, focal person in charge of ESAT. For KRA 5 plus factor, Objective 19, perform various related works activities that contribute to the teaching learning process. MOVs, any proof of committee involvement, advisorship of co-curricular activities, book or journal authorship, contributorship, coordinatorship, chairpersonship, coaching and mentoring learners in competitions, serving as a reliever of classes in the absence of teachers, mentoring pre-service teachers, participation in demonstration teaching, participation as technical working group member, and others. But you need to provide annotations.